Chapter 12. Not all of us can do great things, but we can do small things with great love. Mother Teresa. My social harmony. When I chose business as a career in my 20s, I was so immersed in it that I could not turn my attention elsewhere. I never attended social functions or even entertainment events for 24 years. I was living a monotonous life. My daily routine was limited to the management of my outlets, continuous communications with employees, and financial transactions. I couldn't get spare time to enjoy leisure moments even with my family. My social life was confined to visiting select friends on weekends, attending occasional business parties, and participating in some family events like birthdays or marriages. Sometimes on holidays, I would visit parks along with my children, but movies, dramas, and cultural programs were always out of my schedule. It was as if I was entangled in a cocoon. The first time I did some charity work was to build a temple and a marriage hall at my native place in memory of my mother. She passed away in the year 2003. After her demise, I came to know that she had saved every penny which I gifted her time to time for her expenses. She had invested the entire amount in a bank fixed deposit and made my nomination for the same. The pool was actually a return gift to me. I wanted to utilize the amount for some noble cause as a tribute to my mother. Throughout my life, I loved and respected my mother devotedly. She was social by nature and always ready to help others. She was a believer and devotee of the goddess Tulja Bhavani, our family deity. Once, she had expressed her wish to me to build a temple of the goddess in our town, Ladkaranja. I remembered her words and decided to fulfill her wish. My father had purchased some land in Ladkaranja. I contributed my share to the pool and built a temple as well as a marriage hall on that ancestral land and donated it to the social cause. This charity work gave me immense satisfaction. My prolonged ailment was instrumental in pulling me out of my seclusion and comfort web. I spent 5 years in pain and grief. I prayed to God to give me a second chance at life and even promised Him to live my new life with humanity and compassion. My wish was granted, and I came out of the clutches of death. That was my rebirth, and it transformed me into an extrovert and sociable person. I also give equal credit to my wife Vandana, who changed my lonely lifestyle and gave me new insights on social harmony. She encouraged me to participate in social gatherings and cultural activities, and also helped me see the happiness in philanthropy. I started donating generously to orphanages, schools for the unprivileged, remand homes, social welfare projects, etc. A few weeks back, an Air India Express flight crashed on Kozhikode Airport in Kerala, killing 20 of its passengers, including the pilot and co-pilot. The ill-fated flight had many passengers who had lost their jobs. In addition, there were many people who were going back after their visit visas expired. Additionally, many of the passengers had financial difficulties. When I heard this news, I immediately felt the urge to do something for the victims. As a part of our group's CSR initiatives, I donated a total of rupees 2 million as financial aid to the families of all those who had died in the accident. Social harmony really changes your personality. In my school days, I was a shy and aloof student. Since I had come from a rural background, my language was not chaste. Other students would laugh at my style and make a mockery out of it. This developed an inferiority complex in me. Consequently, I became fearful and began to stutter. This habit continued and I became a tight-lipped person. When I started mixing in society, my fear of public speaking automatically vanished. It so happened that once I was invited as a guest for an event organized by the Indian community in Dubai. The coordinator came to me and insisted on me addressing the gathering. I denied his request politely. He understood my difficulty and advised me to narrate my life story in simple words and a friendly style. As I started speaking, a couple of minutes later, I realized that the audience was listening to my speech attentively. It boosted my confidence and I became a public speaker instantly. Since then, I gave hundreds of public speeches and interviews. I have been frequently using this newly acquired skill of storytelling in my drive of entrepreneurship development. When I am invited to deliver a speech to youth, I go to that place on my own expenses and narrate my challenging life story to the audience. My dream is to motivate thousands of young aspirants and create new age entrepreneurs from them. I am also active in the propagation of Indian culture in Gulf countries by sponsoring various programs including dance, music, drama, and festivals, and thereby encouraging the artists. I like to make acquaintances with people who have carved a niche in society with their exceptional achievements. When Indian celebrities, including artists, musicians, authors, intellectuals, and players visit Dubai, I don't miss the opportunity to invite them to my residence and extend my hospitality to them. I have sponsored and organized the International Conference on Ayurveda in 2009 and Second Vishwa Marathi Sahitya Sammelan in 2011 in Dubai. I am honored to have the acquaintances and blessings of celebrities like Pandit Hridaynath Mangeshkar, veteran musician, Mangesh Padgaonkar, poet, Arun Date, singer, Prakash Amte, social worker, Narendra Jadhav, economist, and Nagraj Manjule, film director, to name a few. One group has cherished the tradition of inaugurating each of its new outlets at the hands of any Bollywood celebrity. There is a reason for it. Previously, we were celebrating the event with a simple ribbon-cutting ceremony at the hands of me or my wife. But customers and my employees insisted on adding some glamour to it so that they could enjoy it more. It was really a meaningful suggestion, and I also got the chance to weave bonds of friendship with my customers. Many popular actresses like Karisma Kapoor, Bipasha Basu, Preeti Zinta, Dia Mirza, Vidya Balan, Tamanna Bhatia, and Sunny Leone graced the occasions and inaugurated our superstores. I had the privilege of having Bollywood superstar Madhuri Dixit as a chief guest for launching my Marathi book, Masala King, a couple of years back. We rise by helping others. One day I was working in my office. Just then my business associate came in to meet me. He was accompanied by an unfamiliar pregnant lady. I was puzzled by her presence. She looked anxious and tearful. She must have been under great pressure. My friend introduced her and explained the reason behind their arrival. The lady was a belly dancer. She was an immigrant from a war-torn country and had lost her parents. As a lonely orphan in Dubai, she needed to connect with someone emotionally. One wealthy person took disadvantage of her honest nature and promised marriage. She trusted him and left her job. They got married. One day the truth came out. The cunning man divorced her after she became pregnant and vanished, leaving her alone. The lady was caught in a pitiful situation. She was penniless, jobless, and helpless. She didn't have any friends or relatives who would help her with her expenses. My business associate was a kind person. He himself helped her and sought more help from me. I sympathetically helped her. The lady didn't utter a single word, but at the time of leaving, she said, "Sir, I am ordinary, but I assure you that one day I will repay your help. God bless you." They both left. I soon forgot about the incident. A couple of years later, I found myself in trouble. One of my stores was in a locality where a large number of immigrants from war-affected countries lived. Their teenagers had the habit of playing football on the streets. The team would play in front of our store's glass door. The football broke the glass and injured our customers frequently. We warned the boys, but they refused to change. We registered a complaint with the police, but since the boys were minors, the police couldn't do anything more than giving warnings. I was worried about tackling the problem. I didn't want conflicts. One day, when I was sitting in a restaurant, a graceful lady came to my table with a child and asked me if I recognized her. I shook my head. She reminded me of our meeting 2 years ago. She was the same belly dancer whom I had met. She asked if there was any problem. I first thought, why should I tell her my business problem? But suddenly I remembered that she was also an immigrant. With hope that she might know the parents of the vagabond boys, I told her my story. She smiled and promised to resolve my problem. Next day, a wonder happened. A police van appeared in the area, and the troublemakers were driven to the lockup. The police released the boys only after their parents gave a written assurance about their children's behavior. When I thanked the lady and asked how she could manage this, she answered, "Sir, I know the police chief. I called him and related your problem. He took the suitable steps. Sir, when it was your turn, you showed compassion. Now it is my turn." There are some things like relations and compassions which are priceless. How true is a quote by Albert Schweitzer, a humanitarian. The purpose of human life is to serve and to show compassion and the will to help others. Don't be a miser in life. Some people only love accumulating more and more wealth. The obsession with money and simultaneously the fear of losing it possesses their mind so strongly that they become reluctant to spend even a penny for charity. This narrow mindset transforms them into becoming a miser. The lifestyle and public behavior of any miser becomes despicable as well as laughable to society. They are truly miserable as they neither enjoy their life nor their wealth. We all remember the character of Shylock from William Shakespeare's famous drama, The Merchant of Venice. Some time ago, I read an old book named Lives and Anecdotes of Misers, written by author F.S. Merriweather and published in the year 1850. The book contained humorous anecdotes of world-famous misers from the 17th century. It not only entertained me, but also reminded me that some similar characters are still living around us and behaving in the same strange ways. I knew a person who was in fact a rich businessman, but lived his life with extreme frugality. He was always skeptical about everyone, even his family. He didn't allow his wife and children to spend comfortably in their life. This created unhappiness among them and a dislike for him. When he grew old, he encountered paralysis. He couldn't write his signature properly on checks with his frail hands. Still, he didn't give power of attorney to anyone with the fear that his family would cheat him out of his money. The miser never disclosed the details of his property, transactions, and cash to his family. When he died, I, along with some friends, went for a condolence meeting. We were surprised to see that the family was enjoying his demise rather than mourning for it. They hadn't even garlanded his photo. The widow and her children expressed their anger by saying, "Thank God, we are so relieved." Alas, the miser never earned respect from anyone, not in life and not even in death. Sometimes the idiom penny wise and pound fool comes true about misers. I remember once I had filled a tender for supplying groceries to a big company. My competitor in the bid was a rich and established trader. I did not hope to acquire the contract, but unexpectedly the company awarded it to me. Later, when I asked the purchase manager of the company why and how he approved my tender, he smilingly said, "Sir, your competitor is rich, but also a miser." I noticed his strange behavior during our communication. He never made a direct phone call to me. Instead, preferred to give a missed call every time, expecting me to make a call from our side. All his efforts were to save charges for a few calls. Such people are really tough to bargain with. We never entertain inflexible people in our business. This incident taught me a lot. Friends, my advice to you would be: earn honestly, spend wisely, help generously, and live happily. Time to manifest the humanity within us. Our Al Adil group took up a CSR initiative few months back, under which we sponsored the airfare of more than 5,000 needy Indian travelers stranded in UAE and wished to return to India. The COVID-19 pandemic has shaken the world. The sudden lockdowns announced everywhere aggravated the difficulties of certain sections of society. Thousands of Indians, including jobless employees, students, and tourists, had been stranded in the UAE. We helped them by providing kits of essential food items. But when the air traffic between UAE and India resumed, these people were desperate to return home immediately. Many of them had spent most of their money and couldn't even bear the expenditure of a COVID-19 medical test. Our group sponsored the airfare and test expenditure of such Indians. I didn't do this social work for just boasting about my charity or merely gaining publicity. In fact, it gave me immense pleasure and satisfaction to make the worried faces smile. I believe that service to mankind is service to God. There was an incident in my life which inspired me to help the stranded people in a big way. Once I was traveling to India with my wife. We were waiting at the airport for our flight. I was busy reading a magazine and my wife was busy observing the surroundings. Suddenly, she drew my attention and whispered in my ears, "Look at the person sitting in the corner. He needs help." I saw him praying to God with tearful eyes. He seems to be under tension. I went to him and asked his problem. He told me his heartrending story. He had lost his job and was returning to India. He didn't even have enough money to buy an economy class air ticket. Someone had assured him the money but never turned up. He hadn't even eaten anything enough for a couple of days. I felt sympathy for him. I took him to the restaurant and made him have a meal. Then I purchased a ticket for him. The man asked my name and thanked me gratefully. I forgot the incident soon. After some months, I received a letter in which there was a picture of a happy family drawn by a child. Their smiling faces were the real compliments for me. Friends, I appeal to everyone to exhibit the compassion and manifest the humanity within us.